Hey everyone, it's Tuesday at 12. Still have a few more people, looks like, so I'm gonna give it another minute or so before we go into everything. And as with before, I've got some slides. I might actually thumb through the slides on this one, and then we can go into some test scenarios. You guys, if you've been to some of the other Timer Temp Tuesdays, you've kind of seen glimpses of this from dynamic bib assignment, and we'll go into that further. And then we'll play around in our test bib assignment event so that we can play around and see if we can answer any questions that you guys have. Just so you know, on the right-hand side, there is a tab called Questions. Feel free at any time to type those in. I've got Matt Avery on the call with me, and I'm Chris McDonald. And if you type those in, if it's pertinent for right now, then Matt will pipe up and ask the question and interrupt me. If not, we'll get to all of them at the end of the talk, and hopefully you guys will feel confident about the web check-in procedure. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's a couple minutes after noon. So thank you guys for joining us. We're also recording all of these, so I can't get my additional video to work right now. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. But if at any point you want to go back and review any of these, we do have RunSignup does have a YouTube channel. So if you just look up RunSignup and go into videos. So for instance, the dynamic bib assignment is right here from 6 days ago. So we are saving all of these. So you guys, if you want to view or if you want to share it with one of your races on a how-to, you can do that as well. So without further ado, race day web check-in. So this is kind of just a quick shot of what it looks like now. For those of you that haven't noticed, when you go under your dashboard and see you now have race day tools, and underneath that, instead of check-in with a bunch of different things underneath it, when you go into race day check-in, you have three options. So again, today we're going to be talking about the web check-in only. I believe next week we're going to go into the mobile app, which we talk about quite a bit. And then the nice thing now, if you haven't joined us before, I have made note of this, all of your stats are in one place now. So regardless of if you're doing the mobile app or web check-in, everything dumps into all of your check-in stats dumps into this one place. So again, dashboard, when you're on your dashboard, go into race day tools, race day check-in, and again, we're going to drop into web check-in. There is another way to get to this, and I'm gonna just toggle over to it really quickly, and that is if you're under bibs and you're looking at this option, assign through quick participant report, that will also drop you into web check-in. So I may come back to this just so you have some clear screenshots of it, but for now, I'm just going to go straight into what we normally do, and that is just a live demo. So again, we're on the dashboard. We're going to go into race day tools, race day check-in, and we have our three options here. There is another bulk check-in, and just for the sake of it, if you go to bulk check-in, you can click check in any participant with a bib number if you just want everyone checked in, or you can check in by specific reg IDs. So if you want to bulk check people in. So we're not going to do that right now. Just wanted to show you what it was. So web check-in, when we drop in, again, it looks same but slightly different. So you have all of your search functions at the top. So at any point, most people don't know their reg ID, but if you pre-assign bib numbers and somebody knows what their bib number is, I don't have any pre-assigned bib numbers in here, otherwise they would be listed. But you can also search here So I do a good job of naming a lot of people test. I think Silver Surfer is one in here. So if we type in Silver and hit the search button, we get Silver Surfer. He's a whopping 110 years old. I was actually testing out if we could get over 100 years in here, and we can. So once you're into this person, you can actually go in if you wanted to and change this person to another event. If you hit back to registration details, it actually drops you into the participant. So if we do want to change this person to the test 10K, we can, and we can change everything, move them over. Again, it takes you back into the participant details. So you would, if you do change things, need to go back in to race day tools and race day check-in. So again, if we go back to Silver, now he's in the test 10K. So let's see. From here, we can also go with, again, with just a simple search, we can go to this edit check-in button. And the edit check-in button is what most of you would be using. So if you go to edit check-in, let's say we want to manually assign bib number, or dynamically, but manually assigned Silver Surfer bib number 777. And we hit check-in and save. Now this person is listed as green and they're checked in. If we want to show everyone at any point, you can just hit this search function with nothing in there, and you've got the information in. If we go into participants, view participants, we can see Silver Surfer is bib number 777. So any export after that would show the bib number of Silver Surfer. If you're using race day scoring, it syncs in a matter of a quarter of a second. It's very, very fast with web check-in. That's one benefit to web check-in over the check-in app. The sync on web check-in is immediate. The check-in app, the sync, I think it caches every 15 seconds or so. So you will see a very slight delay. So if you want to, and that's just a simple check-in here by a search once you land on this page. Something else to note, there are these three icons here at the top, and we talked about these very briefly. And when I use them, it's going to log me out. So just bear with me. I'm going to have to log back into RunSignup a few times. And what I mean by that is we'll start here with the link. So this is for remote links. The purpose behind the remote links is, let's say you want to provide a running store with a Chromebook or a laptop to check people in, but you don't want them to log into your RunSignup account. So what you can do is you can either use the current columns that are set up, or you can customize a link specific for that link. And you can choose whatever you want to. So this section is what shows up in the columns. This section is what shows up in the pop-up when we click the person. So like when we click here, this is what shows up. You can filter by not showing imported participants or hiding checked-in participants. For larger events, you might actually want to do this. But just keep in mind, on this link, it will not show checked-in participants. You can also allow people to edit specific things. So if you want to edit participant or payment details, or you can set to automatically check in when a bib number is entered. Obviously, in most scenarios, if you're dynamically assigning, you want to be able to edit the bib number. If you're pre-assigning, you might not want to be allow them to edit the bib number. You can clear the search once somebody's checked in, and you want to obviously be able to edit the check-in. So you can also, for this specific, let's say you have a series of events or a series of races all under one event. You can select for, we only want to allow these events checked in with the link that we provide. or we'll just make it more abstract and just do fun run. And so we'll leave it as is, and we'll generate the remote link. So it's going to bring up a link here. And so you could copy and paste this to a notepad, and then you could put that onto other browsers on other computers, or email it to someone to be able to use. And with that link, when they use it, I'm going to go ahead and close out of it, and you can see how that link, it is 12:11 p.m. Eastern. So this is where that link is. So if you want to, you can go in and click on the link. Again, it's going to tell you you will be logged out of your current session. The whole premise behind this link is someone using it not signed in to RunSignup. So again, when I click this, it's very, very similar if you've ever played around with Expo mode and private Expo mode. As soon as you log into private Expo mode, it logs you out of RunSignup. And the whole idea is you are not supposed to be within an account in RunSignup to run this. So again, I'm going to go to Web Check-in. It's going to log me out of RunSignup. So again, if you're previously logged in, you've been logged out. So remember, we set it up so we're only showing the fun run. That's why no one else is in here. So there's limited editing ability because we chose it to be that way. And if we wanted to search for first name toddler, it sorts that out. If we remove it and just go back to everybody, we can see everyone in this event. So if we want to check in this person and we want them to be bib number 12, check in and save. Now they're checked in. We can check in this person too. So not everybody's checked in. Their bib numbers are in there. So they're done with web check-in and they exit it. It logs them out of web check-in, but it also logs them out of RunSignup. So again, in order for me to go back in, give me 1 second. If you guys don't already have an MFA set up, you probably should, just to protect your data. Something you can do within RunSignup. So now I'm logged in. I go back to my races, go to my test bib assignment. And if I want to look up my participants, I can see Silver Surfers still checked in because that's what we did previously. And our fun runners are checked in as well. We can also go back into our normal check-in on our computer. It shows everyone, and now you can also see those people checked in. You can share this link across wherever you want to. So multiple people could be using this link at the same time, not a big deal. And let's say it's over. So web check-in is done, and you want to revoke this pass so they don't have access to this information anymore. Quite literally hit yes, revoke. And now when we go in, it's gone. We can revoke both if we want to. So now no one can use those links anymore for web check-in. So the next thing at the top here is the lock button. What this is safe mode. The idea behind this is someone's on your computer. So you are logged in to RunSignup and you just want them to be able to use your computer quickly. Again, you will be logged out of your current session, but your optional identifier code here would be, I don't know, you could put test 1, launch safe mode, and it looks very, very similar. So again, everyone's in there. Again, this would be on your computer. If you don't have a second computer, we can check somebody in, check in and save. That person is checked in and saved. So we'll hit exit. Again, it logged us out. So I will yet again go in and go back into my races. And we can see that another sample person, bid number 333, is checked in. So, and if we go into race day check-in, web check-in, again, when we go back in, it'll show this person is checked in. So the final thing, and the one that you guys will probably end up using quite a bit, is the web check-in settings. So there are settings here. There are settings when you customize the link for others. It's pretty much the same settings. So if you want to change what your down here looks like your actual check-in settings, you can go up here and you can show more information on the columns or less. So I don't have a lot of information for this group. I do have like import status and corral because I imported a lot of these folks. And so maybe we don't want to show the amount due, and maybe we don't want to show a t-shirt. So the pop-up is, and I have a picture of the pop-up here. So the pop-up is what you want to show on the pop-up here. So if you want to show corral on the pop-up or show import status on the pop-up, you can do that. You can also hide checked-in participants. And again, whatever you want to be able to edit, you can have that editable. So payment details might be something you don't want to be edited. Again, you can limit this to a specific event. So maybe we don't want to do the fun run or the 5K relay. You can save this as a default report for this event if you want to. I'm not going to for this case. So here is, and remember, we added corral, and a lot of these people don't have corral, but if we go down, we can see some of them do. And then we added, we'll go down to one of those people that has corral. And so we'll edit check-in. So you see how it has the corral, but we can't change any of the payment information. So we can still check this person in, check in and save, but then they're gone because we don't want to see, we selected that we didn't want to see, checked in people. So we're filtering out all the checked in people. We can remove that, update the report, and they pop back in. All right. Can the links be named for simplicity, like workstations? These are auto-generated link names, Gail. So Gail's question is, can these, let me generate a remote link real quick. There we are. And so you could create like a bit.ly like shortcode URL and copy and paste this in for ease of distribution if you wanted to. In most scenarios, you're going to be copying and pasting this in. So they are pretty long. You are correct. And if you look at the thing, it actually gives you a good idea of what it's doing. So you've got your RunSignup race, web check-in. It's got your race number in here. So there's your race. Ooh, I can't highlight it very well, but there's your race number. And then it's giving provisional access ID 752, and the token to get into that is this token to get into this specific link. So that's where that's coming from. But if you wanted to do a shortcode URL, you could and copy and paste this in, and then you could revoke it at any time. That way it would be shorter. So thanks for the question, Gail. So again, again, you can save this as your default report as you want to. And on this YouTube channel, again, I'm not going to be able to videotape it. My connection to my camera is weak and it's not working very well. But on this dynamic bib assignment timer tip Tuesday from last week, I was able to videotape myself going into the registration ID, and I have everything picked up. So I mean, right now you put your cursor in the reg ID field, and you can scan the barcode or the QR code, and you can see how I just scanned that person. So if I wanted to scan a different person, again, I just need to make sure my cursor is there. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I am scanning the QR code. And then if I wanted to, I could take the same thing. It auto selects into bib number, and I can scan. I'm going to use the barcode scanner to scan bib number 1003, and so it checks them in. So that's how that works. When it pops back onto here, you do have to reselect the reg ID to scan the next person. So again, you just need to, I've had a number of questions about this, making sure your cursor is in this reg ID field if you're going to be scanning printed out registration forms with the QR or barcode on there. Just so you guys know, if you're using Web Check-in, the barcode scanners that you're using use light, and the light does not work well at all for scanning on other devices. So using like scanning an iPhone or a computer or something like that, you're not going to be able to do it very well. So if you need to scan other devices, you will want to use a camera-based scanner like in the Check-in app instead of Web Check-in. So let's see. All right, Gail has another question. When we set up a computer for check-in, does a person need to be logged in or the link work regardless? So they do not need to be logged in. So if these links that you provide, all they need is this link. So if this link is on their computer, it will be available for check-in using this link. There's no other password or anything like that, and it will be available until you revoke it. And then the second part of that, teams of volunteers change all day long. Yes, you can have it cut and paste into the browser and be set all day long. Correct. Yep. So a lot of people don't want to use personal like iPhones and things like that, and they don't have enough mobile devices to distribute for packet pickup. So this is a great way if you do have a lot of like say Chromebooks to put one of these links on the Chromebook, or if you want to have a station where one person checks in a 5K, 10K, and somebody else checks in the fun runners, you could set up separate links under the custom links, and one would be set to 5K, 10K in the relay, and then the other link would be set to just fun run. All right, so let's see. Can 5 machines be set up for one event? In fact, yes. I think I was answering that as you were typing it. Awesome. So I think we got most of Gail's questions. If you have more, feel free to ask. That basically covers Web Check-in. The only other thing I was going to show you is, and again, we have a lot of other data because this is my test event, so we've checked people in on this a lot. But when we go into CheckIn Stats, again, that's under race day check-in and CheckIn Stats, we can see, what is today, March 3rd, how we've checked some people in today. So here is this, and it's from 12 to 12:15. So it'll update here shortly with 12:20. But yeah, we can see a breakdown of, again, this would be today. And some of this data is from previous use. So you can go in there and see if you're using CheckIn app and web check-in, you can break that down under those CheckIn stats. And that's a great tool after the fact to be able to show like, ooh, maybe we do need more devices because it looks like we bottlenecked at a certain point. Or say you had 5 devices and only 4 were checking people in and there were no issues with that 5th device. Okay, we don't need 5 devices for the event next year. And you start to get a feeling of how well your volunteers work with volume and the number of people each device can check in over time. So you can scale accordingly. So any other questions? I give Gail the gold star for asking so many questions and engaging. So thanks, Gail. Any other questions about web check-in? See if we missed anything on the slides. So on the dynamic bib assignment, again, we talked about this, but you can go to edit check-in. It pops up and you can just type in, if you don't have a barcode scanner, just type in that bib number. The cursor does auto sit in that bib number. So when you scan, it checks in automatically when that bib number is entered. And so it pops up like this. And then again, the remote links have a number of different options. I think this was at the bottom, which is you can do the specific events as you want it, and you can have multiple links and revoke them as needed. The web check-in safe mode, again, is this little lock, and you can put in your optional identifier. And the launching the safe mode essentially logs you out of your account, but allows someone else that you don't feel comfortable with having access to the back end of your RunSignup account, allows them to use your computer for web check-in. And then I think the final one was just giving you a snapshot of all of the different web check-in setting options. So what I would do is go in and just play with it until you get it, like have a test person in, and that way you can get web check-in settings to your liking. And then once you've got it just the way you like it, you can save the customization as your default report. So the event selection will not be changed. It defaults to all events. So you will need to edit that each time. Are there any other questions about the new and improved web check-in? Again, it does work with barcode scanners. You just need to make sure that your cursor is in the registration ID field in order for that to work. We'll wait a little bit longer to see if we have any more questions come through. You're welcome, Gail. All right, well, I appreciate you guys joining me. I think next week we'll be doing the CheckIn app. And so, yeah, we'll be doing the CheckIn app and going through settings and things like that. And if you have any questions in the interim, feel free to shoot me an email. That's crisp@RunSignup, so CRISP@RunSignup. Be glad to walk you through anything or help you get set up for your event for web check-in. So thanks for joining, and I look forward to chatting with you guys next week. Take care.